In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto.
Question everything.
Trust nothing.
It's your boys, Keeper and Crusader, and we are here on a What If Wednesday. If y'all saw the title, we've got some a couple little surprises for you this evening. The title is What If? And so I'm excited to dive into a few different ideas this evening. It's not going to be the normal What If Wednesday where we've just got one thing that we're going to talk about. We got three ideas that we want to bring up. Crusader, you want to rattle them off, or you want me to?
Yeah, I do for sure. So we're going to be talking about XRP. What if XRP goes to zero? That'd be a great future. No, realistically, we're going to be talking about what if XRP loses the lawsuit. Right? That's an important topic. We need to know what that means for the rest of crypto. We're going to be talking about what if Sam Bankman-Fried also just walks away from this whole ordeal and nothing ever really happens to him. And finally, but not least, we're going to be talking about what if we do opt out of the dollar and, adopt some type of cryptocurrency and what that future will look like.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the space right now. And so we wanted to kind of bring a well-rounded kind of three big topics that are at hand right now to give maybe a better look on what things would look like if these were to occur. So super excited about tonight's What If Wednesday. Make sure to smash the likes. You know how it is. YouTube is asking for it. We're asking for it. We love you guys. We appreciate you for being here. Jump in. We're trying to grow on Twitter, as always, trying to grow everywhere. You've got both of our Twitters. We got Danger Close Alpha, obviously. Jump into the Discord as well. DCA hold on a second. Let's take a brief pause. What's wrong with this video right now? What's wrong with between the two of us?
I literally which one of these does not match? I went out to pick up food in my room. That's how much in a hurry I was. I was wrapped up at work all day, and I literally ran out the door, got stuck in traffic, got home. I didn't got time to put the vest on, dude.
So the vest is like what? Like right behind you?
Like over there. I had to get on. I had to make a thumbnail.
You see how this goes? I'm telling you, I gotta just. I guess I'm going solo. I guess I'm going solo. I gotta wear this. I gotta wear this thing on my own tonight. Fam, support the channel. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on our all of our socials. Just you know what to do. Let's check out the markets. Let's get into it. See what's going on, and we'll start there and then get into the what ifs of the evening. Let's see here. Boom. Bing bong. Also, if you're looking for more TA love besides Mondays and Thursdays, jump over to Frankie Candles. That's your boy over on BitBoy Crypto's channel, Frankie Candles. Make sure to check him out. That's our boy, and he does a great job with the TA. Global crypto market cap is at $841.80 billion with a B dollars. That's down 1.77%. You guys know the story. Bitcoin just under 17K, down 1.23%. That tells you what the rest of the market is pretty flat, down a couple percent. ETH down almost 3%. What do we need to do? What do we need to do, family? Well, yeah, what we need to do is stack up all of our funds, all of our ETH, all of our assets on, you guessed it, hardware wallets. Addison wants to jump in and remind everybody, get yourself a hardware wallet. Use our Ledger link. It is down below the video. The Ledger link supports this little one and Crusader's little one. We appreciate it, and she wants to continue to stack that ETH, so please help her out. Mwah. I love you.
Yeah, dude, the markets have been pretty flat. I feel like we're getting to that level of numbness where nothing's really happening anymore. I mean, we're seeing Genesis and these other companies maybe going bankrupt, right? If we are going to capitulate lower, I don't know what's going to bring it. I don't know what big piece of article is going to come out and going to make it happen. But I think, the trend has been sideways capitulation, sideways capitulation. So that has been the trend. But I just don't know what else could possibly come out that will push us down once again.
Yeah, and I do want to say also, just in regards to the hardware wallets too, just while we were talking about it, the new Ledger that put out, it is dope for sure, no doubt. We talked about that a little bit last night. Pre-orders you can do your pre-orders, so you can use our link for that too. We really again, it's much appreciated. It is a way that you support the channel. We don't really push too much on you guys, so we would appreciate if you're going to grab a hardware wallet, use our link. We love you for it. All right, let's dive into it. Let's see what's going on. Let's start off with Let's end it with XRP.
Oh, we're gonna end.
You want to start off with XRP? We can start with XRP. That's fine. Let's go ahead and start with XRP. Then we'll go. Scam Bankman-Fried, and then we'll talk about the final. Opting into. Bitcoin.
So I've been listening to Michael Saylor. He was just on a podcast with what's his name, Patrick David or David Patrick. I always forget what his name is.
I think it's Patrick David.
Either Patrick David or David Patrick, whatever it is.
I think so.
But he was on his podcast. He was talking about XRP. He was talking about cryptocurrencies in general. He was also talking about Sam Bankman-Fried. But in general, his opinion is that basically every single altcoin, anything that's not Bitcoin, is a security. And he made a point that the SEC should deem XRP a security and should be regulated. I mean, if you think about it, what do? They created a token. They fundraised money with that token to be able to create the company that they are, right? Do what they're gonna do, and then make the connections with this. So,
but hold on, they already had the no. So they did not do they did an ICO for sure. Like they did the initial coin offering, but Ripple itself was already in place at that point. So I don't know whether the funding for the company to press forward specifically came from that, but it was already in place. And I think that's the difference. I don't know that they were public yet. I would have to look into that. I don't know.
No. So, I mean, Ripple's, my understanding is Ripple's not a public traded company. So
no. What I mean is I don't know if they were like publicly, on, if they were an LLC, whether they were a corp already, whether they were actually a formed company regardless and about the public. Regardless of the fact that ICO money, and then
but that money was used to fund their venture into whatever they were creating and all this stuff. Like that's what an ICO is for. It's literally a fundraising, crowdfunding, and people are pretty much buying into your startup to see if they make money out of it. So the fact that they've done that, the fact that they, dude. I think they should. Whether they will or won't, I don't know. Right? Things are corrupt.
You think they're going to lose? You think they're going to lose this case?
They should lose the case. Is what I'm saying.
But is that an unbiased opinion, or is there?
That is an unbiased opinion. Completely. No matter, it is an unbiased opinion. It is. They are a security, right? They did come out and it's a regulated. They know the rules. They were here in the United States, right? They should be hit as a security. That doesn't mean that XRP is going to go to zero. That doesn't mean that whatever. It just means that's what it should do. But at the same time, we see Ethereum, right? Ethereum's gotten away with it as well. And Ethereum did the same thing, right? They were technically a security too. They're a company. They have. If you have a company and you have a crypto and you funded money to fund your blockchain to grow, that is a company, that is a security. People were investing with the whole thing of trying to make money back off other people's efforts. So I just don't know how. Well, I do know how. It's corrupt and they pay people and, they just let things slide. But
the SEC is fighting them tooth and nail. Just to pause real quick. Enzo, this is a great idea. You're right. Sin City Crypto does have a little thing that they do. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we will. I'm going to make note of that. Cool little thing to do. All y'all could represent DCA while you're in here, kind of show that you're part of the OG crew or whatever. We'll definitely talk about that. I like it. Okay, so whether there was, I as much as I love my XRP, hold lots of bags, and am looking forward to hopefully making a bunch of money on XRP in the long run. I don't know the specifics of the initial coin offering, if you want to call it that, when it happened on the front end. I don't know the particulars. So
they had a whole pre-mined thing, everything was already created. I forget all the details of exactly because they did that a long time ago. But I'm just saying, XRP, like a lot of all the other altcoins, are securities, and we've had this debate before, and you even argued that they were securities.
Yeah. So hold on, I want to touch something and I want to answer it. John Connor saying, why not say this on ATB? What are we not? I'm not scared to say anything on ATB. I say the same thing on ATB that I would say on here. What did we say or not say? Hold on a second. Say this hate on a bigger panel. John Connor, hit me up with what you're talking about.
I think he's referring to the hate of XRP. to the hate of XRP on a bigger panel where there's more like XRP fans.
You are scared
around.
to say it in front of the big dogs, is what you're saying. You're saying you're scared to say it in front of a whole bunch of people.
I've had this debate with Zach Rector on the show. I've brought Mason and Joshua Jake that are all XRP fans on the show, and I've said it publicly, and I say it publicly everywhere I go. In the conferences, everyone we speak to, I publicly make it known that I hate XRP.
Everybody knows you hate
Everybody
XRP.
knows.
That's a fact. Okay. So besides the particulars of whether there was an actual ICO or not, let's talk about what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, I don't think that, just as an aside, I don't think XRP has gone this far, this long, and been toe-to-toe with the SEC with all the things that have come out time and time again to lose this case. And the other part of it is it's going to be really bad for crypto. So let's start there. It would be really bad for crypto as a whole for XRP to lose this case, because effectively what it's going to say is that a good majority of these assets, whether I think that they technically are securities or not, they're going to be deemed securities if XRP loses this case. Okay.
See you later, alligator. Only the strong survive.
You say that, but now start looking at your own portfolio and asking yourself, is there assets in your portfolio that ultimately are going to be harmed? Okay. So first and foremost, the people will not be who the regulators are going after if this gets deemed a security. So let me be clear about that. Nobody in here that's holding XRP, including myself, is going to be in trouble for holding XRP. I don't know the answer, and I've yet to find somebody that's been able to give me a good answer for what actually happens. It's something that we should look into. Like, what happens if you buy an unregistered security, you're holding it, it then gets deemed a security? What happens? And I don't think there's any precedent for a cryptocurrency being considered that. So
yeah, there isn't.
Well, besides Library, what are they doing with Library Coin?
I don't know. I think they shut it down.
Well, I know that, but my question is, what happened to all the holders? There's not a chance that they're just going to say, "Well, sorry about your luck," and then
your money.
See ya. I can't see that being a reality. Someone in the chat, if somebody is sitting there at their computer, will you do me just a quick little bit of internet sleuthing, please?
Somebody said buyback. That's a big theory. The whole theory is that there'd be a buyback.
Yeah, I've heard that before too, but not in some wild number. Some $1,000 in XRP buyback. That is a dream that people tell themselves.
For that, if XRP knew that they were going to lose this case, right, and there was some type of president, hey, we're going to lose it, we have to do this massive buyback that's going to bankrupt us. What they would do is they would just buy up XRP right now at 30 cents. Just buy all of it. Just buy it up. Just suck it off all the exchanges, and that's it. And then they lock liquidity. There's no more liquidity in XRP. There's no selling it. People that are holding it got stuck, and that's it.
Well, I think that I while I agree with the idea of what you're saying, I can't see a situation where they have a clear-cut answer as to because the market commands the price. The market tells us what the value of the asset is worth. I don't know how an individual entity could effectively just put their own valuation on what it's going to be. I don't know. I hear you. It makes sense. You're saying, hey, they just want to gobble up as much as they would want to gobble up as much as they can. But let's be fair. Again, this is coming from somebody who holds XRP. Okay. Let's be fair. XRP has been dumping. I don't want to say dumping. XRP has been releasing tokens on their holders ever since XRP came to be. Right. And so that has been part of the problem as far as the release of, I think it's 1 billion every month or whatever, that has out of escrow, that has held down and kind of hurt some of the tokenomics as it were for people. And then you had Jed McCaleb just absolutely having, you know what I mean? He was able to continue to dump. And what makes me nervous is that if we were headed to some wild number, don't you think someone like Jed McCaleb would know that and still hold a massive amount of? My understanding is he's not holding much of anything anymore. which makes me a little bit, question. But back to the question.
I think the fact that he can't hold it, I think is because of how the scenario is being played. Right, a lot of these like founders then have to get rid of their holdings because then there's a conflict of interest between your own bags and like what you're trying to do as a company. So I think that plays in. Right, they're tied up with the like John Connor. Like, let's relax in the chat, dude. I'm not saying XRP is going to lose the law case, right? This is a corrupt ass system. They're most likely going to win. I've said this before, time and time again. You're not saying anything new or relevating. Like, you don't have any great insight, so please come down in the chat with the whole XRP thing. They're going to win. They're most likely going to win. Should they win? No. Are they a security? 100% most likely, yes, they are. But the whole thing, right? The reason why I believe XRP was set up and targeted is because it's the reverse psychology of what is actually happening with Sam Bankman-Fried right now. Everybody wants the SEC to lose so that crypto, you just said earlier, if they win or lose, it's going to be a big precedent for, just the crypto markets in general. All the crypto people are like, go XRP, go XRP. XRP needs to win, right?
Of course.
And what does that do? We are literally backing XRP, knowing where XRP is going to be leading us into the World Economic Forum, where they're going to be leading us into the traditional banking system, and all their whole private ledger versus public ledger, and all the stuff that's probably most likely not going to be positive for us, the people in general. Are the people that are holding XRP going to make tons of money? Probably, sure, why, whatever, right? But we know where XRP is leading in the future long term. It's not good for the people. You think they care about the people? No, they don't. Right? They care about the World Economic Forum. Check out what those guys are doing for the people. And it's the way the way that they get us on board with, yes, go XRP, bad SEC. Same thing's happening with regulation and saying Bankman-Fried, right? This whole debacle happens. Now everybody's like, yes, regulations. We need the regulations. Just 6 months ago, everybody hated regulations and nobody wanted regulations. It's the same concept. And that's why they were targeted above anyone else.
I like a couple comments here. First of all, John, just go ahead, hammer him, brother. I'm all about it. Just keep going in the chat. We love it. SEC is going to be tossed some settlement cash to claim a win, and Ripple will be allowed to continue rooting itself into the worldwide financial system, period. That would be an example of what Crusader's talking about as it being, hey, we're in a corrupt system. Let's let the optics be that the SEC won the case. But I just think that the only way that happens, though, the problem with that idea is if they lose the case, if it would have to be the other way around. But
if they settle, is that really a loss? It's more kind of like a draw.
Well, it depends on what the settlement terms are, right? It's literally like anything in court. There could be any sort of settlement terms. It could be, hey, listen, we're going to pay out X amount, but you have to because they've said time and time again, the only thing that they will agree to on a settlement is if they will pay out a settlement if they deem it not a security. So let's fast forward. So the case is over. They lose the case. What happens to the markets as a whole? They get crushed. The markets would be crushed. Okay.
Not Bitcoin.
So
I can tell you that.
So, Bitcoin would absolutely be negatively impacted on the front end. Maybe not long term, but Bitcoin's going to be impacted just like the rest of the markets because Bitcoin effectively backs the rest of the markets. So when all of these dump,
if XRP gets deemed a security and then everybody panics about cryptos being security, everybody knows.
You're saying everybody's going to flee to Bitcoin.
Everybody's going to flood over to Bitcoin.
Everybody's going to flee to Bitcoin theoretically. Theoretically,
that's the only thing that makes absolute sense. It makes no sense that you would just flee completely. Like, I have Bitcoin. I'm gonna dump it now. Wait, it's the only one that's not deemed a security. Why would you do that?
Well, to be fair, the guy from the SEC, John Hinman, said that ETH was not a security, but now they're saying it's going to be like, dude, just because somebody said it does not mean that they're going to stick to that.
But the proof is in the pudding, right? Like Bitcoin's way of coming out to the market versus Ethereum is different. They just said Ethereum's not because they have tons of money tied up in Ethereum, in the Ethereum Alliance, and JP Morgan, all these people, right, are all tied up, consensus are all tied up with Ethereum. So they don't want to say Ethereum is a security because there's money tied up there. But they can't say Bitcoin is a security. They literally have no argument for that at all. There's nothing.
So ultimately, if they lose, bad for the crypto markets as a whole. I could see Bitcoin, being
it'd be the death of the
the
death of the crypto market. Like people say, like the altcoin bubble, right? 99% of the altcoins die. That's gonna be the moment.
It would effectively do that, I believe, or at least for a lot of different assets. If they win on the other side, I think we're going to see a nice pump from the markets just as a response. Obviously, XRP will pump, but ultimately, I was thinking about this too. What if they just settle with no clear terms? What if they settle, then they have still that just ambiguity, like they're literally going to be just people still wondering, and then guess what? The SEC can continue to pick and choose who they go after, when they go after them. If they don't like what they're doing or they don't like something about it, that would leave their options really open and give nobody a clear-cut path. I could see that as being an option as well.
Maybe, yeah. They'll probably say something like the terms would be somewhere along the lines of.
Actually, I just saw in the chat, Sean said something actually really similar. He said the SEC doesn't want to have clarity. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. They want it to be arbitrary so they can decide. The winners and the lovers. Yes, Sean. SEC definitely wants to decide the lovers. No doubt. Quick break just as a reminder. If you are looking to get involved in the crypto space without having to make a bunch of different decisions, left, right, sideways, up, down, and you're looking for a long-term play, we've got Itrust Capital. Our affiliate link is down below. Even if you just sign up, check it out. Just the fact that you signed up, checked it out, got involved, it actually helps the channel out. So we'd appreciate you at least taking a peek. It's a crypto IRA. We'll give you more information as we continue to work with them. But I just wanted to throw that out there. That affiliate link is down below the video. Okay. So bottom line is good for crypto or bad for crypto if XRP loses this case long term. I'm asking you. XRP loses the case. Good for crypto long term.
Good and bad is relative. Those are relative terms. People think good and bad are black and white, but it's not. It's relative, right? Good if you're holding Bitcoin, great. Bitcoin to the moon, right? $1 million Bitcoin. Here we go, because all the other competitions are dead, right? There is no more spreading money everywhere. All the money goes to Bitcoin and Bitcoin only. Terrible for all the altcoins and terrible for the XRP maxis. Let me tell you, bad day for the XRP maxis.
It's going to be a bad day for altcoins if that were to happen.
Yeah,
I just can't see them. I can't see them going this far to then lose this case. I don't either.
I have no doubt that they're going to win. It's all fugazi. It's all just theater to make sure that they do what they want. They get their cut, right? They get their money, and it's just fugazi. It's all
I like this
100%.
I like this comment right here. This is probably my favorite comment so far. What if Ripple wins and we let Crusader apologize and buy everyone a bag? So I
won't apologize for anything.
So XRP wins the case. The ultimate punishment would just be simply actually we can have the chat donate, and they can donate to some super chats that night, and we will use those I will purchase the XRP and airdrop them to Crusader. We're going to make that happen. He's going to be holding it.
He has no wallet that he can send me XRP to, so
he's going to be holding it at some point. Little does he know.
Nope, impossible.
He will be holding it before he won't even know it's there, and he will be a holder, and we'll be able to prove it. We'll say, look at this guy. He's been freaking talking trash the whole time. He's back here in the background buying up XRP.
Never.
All right, so that's XRP, fam. Again, smash the likes if you haven't already. Appreciate that. Follow us on Twitter. Make sure you're in the Discord. Guys, we're giving away 5 Ethereum, but we've got to sell out the rest of these commodities, okay? The commodities. Each commodity takes a place in your bug out bag. So what happened? You had the gas mask that kind of served, and the gas masks, we've got some plans brewing, okay? The gas mask originally served as effectively like some money within the system for bartering, trading, whatever. That was the free mint. Then you get ready. So you got your gas mask, then you get your bug out bag. You've got to get yourself prepared, right? You got your bug out bag, you got your 3-day prepper boot camp. You're getting all prepared. Okay. Now you've got your commodities, which is where we're at right now. Those commodities fill up the bags. Do you want to have a full bug out bag that's ready to rock when you get your character? Let me tell you a little secret. Yes, you do. Grab the commodities. They're 0.01. We are about 40% of the way there. We're really trying to make that push so that we can give away the 5 ETH. We have no way to give it, just candidly, we have no way to give the 5 ETH away if we don't sell these 2,500 commodities. It's just not there.
And this is the game, right? There's more to it than it's not just a giveaway. It's a competition, right? Everybody joins in. You get your commodities.
Well, they need it. They need it.
There's clues
all
throughout. There's clues, right? There's power ups. There's different advantages to having some of these commodities. They're going to help you get that 5 ETH, right? There's no 100% foolproof way of winning. Yeah. But, that makes the competition happen, and you get to compete for the 5 ETH, because it's not just a simple giveaway. Like, okay, we generated 5 ETH, so we're giving 5 ETH away. It's a competition. We're going to be working with the content creators, spotlighting them. They're going to be dropping clues. You're going to have to go out there and watch their shows, right, and figure out what these clues are. And there's going to be twists and turns along the way. So it's a game. It's never been done before. It's a virtual game that's happening through multiple content creators on different parts of YouTube. So it's gonna be interesting for sure.
Different parts of the interwebs. That is it. I'm super excited about it when it does start. So help us out. Grab some commodities. Like I said, we're just under 1,000 last I checked. So let's gobble those up. Okay. Let's get into let's go into let's do the scam Bankman-Fried one last. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Okay. Can we as a society opt out of the financial system that we're in right now and choose Bitcoin?
Can we? Yes. Does the system that we have right now want to? No. Okay. Right? It's the whole Thanos situation, right? Like, what did Thanos do? He came in trying to save the entire universe, right? By snapping half of the thing away, and then there's always that resistance from the traditional people that were already there. Like, no, we want this back, right? And then at the end of the movie, he realizes, like, I made a mistake. The only way to save the universe is to create a whole new universe, right? Get rid of everybody. Nobody can exist knowing what already existed before, because you're always going to long for it. So there will always be resistance. If everything starts from new with a new set of rules, then people are going to be okay with it because they don't know anything better. So yes, it can happen, but no, they don't want to, and there's always going to be resistance. So therefore, unless there's a complete reset of everything and everyone involved, it's not going to happen, in my opinion.
So, yeah, I mean, theoretically, obviously, it could happen. I don't see it being a reality either, albeit it would be really nice to be able to opt into something that was actually decentralized, that's actually censorship resistant, that actually is solving real world problems, that actually has supply and demand built into the code. There's so much about Bitcoin that makes sense for money purposes. If you haven't read over my shoulder here, The Bitcoin Standard. Yep. If you haven't read that book, you really should read it. I've heard Crusader talk about it before. And it really does. There's a good portion of the book that's not even talking about Bitcoin. It is teaching you about money. And I feel like a lot of times people don't truly understand even just simply money. What is it? Where did it come from? Why do we use it? What are the different mediums of exchange? Where does value actually come from? You guys would probably know that one because you've heard me say it a million times. But at the end of the day, I feel like we have something in Bitcoin that is solving real problems, right? We can go from one end of the world to another. I could be a billionaire, okay, in dollars, right? I could have a lot of Satoshis on a hardware wallet or a paper wallet. Let's go even better, a paper wallet, right? I could cross borders, go anywhere I want. I could remember. The only thing I have to remember, right? I can remember bank cards. I can remember all these different things. So if I need to, I could remember my seed phrase, okay? I could go anywhere I need to go and take those funds with me. And theoretically, if anywhere we went accepted Bitcoin or here's the second piece of it, or had a simple exchange. And when I say a simple exchange, it's going to need to be really simple. It would need to be, I grab a card, right? My Bitcoin card, whatever. I swipe it just like I would swipe any other card, and it would make whatever exchange needed to happen in that form of that currency. I got it. I get it, but you can't really do that. You're saying that you could use like your crypto.com card, right?
I'm just saying it already exists. People do that.
But what you're saying is you could use your crypto.com card is what you're
crypto.com. There's another app called like Fold. There's multiple apps that you put funds into it, like your Bitcoin funds, and then you just tap it, scan it.
You pay fees
for it, and then boom, it just converts. Every time you go to a merchant, it just converts.
You pay fees for it, for one. For two, there are a number of places that do not accept it. I do know that for sure. Even the crypto.com card, there's places that don't accept it. It would need to be just a 100% just smooth, easy transition. The third thing is, I don't think Bitcoin is the reason that I don't think this would make sense. I think we could opt in to Bitcoin being the world reserve currency. I don't think it makes sense to be an everyday currency and medium of exchange. I don't think it makes sense because we need, like, money continues to come in and out of the system depending on what's happening with printing and interest rates and money flows, the velocity of money movement. If you have a set number of Bitcoin, there's more Bitcoin coming into circulation, but effectively that price is going to be unstable. It's not going to be, it's not going to be a stable coin. So why, if people believe in Bitcoin, would they be buying burgers with their Bitcoin? Right? Like, you can do it right now.
So you're saying it won't be stable price in the fact of because we're comparing it to dollars, right? The dollar amount will fluctuate, but if there is no dollars, there is just Bitcoin,
if you're saying though, if the whole world just went on flat out Satoshis. That was
Satoshi's value alone, right?
There is no Bitcoin is a Bitcoin is a Bitcoin, and there's no other value out there. Like, that's
hey, this thing cost 5 Satoshis.
Right.
That's it. Right. Hey, this other thing cost 100 Satoshis. There's no 100 Satoshis equivalent to $50, but then tomorrow
you're saying the whole world would have to full on adopt it, period, and stop. No other financial means.
I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying that will be required, right? There would be no other currency comparison, because then you always have the Bitcoin is fluctuating.
That's what
it's like. Okay, yes. It's not the Bitcoin that's fluctuating. It's the dollars that's fluctuating, or whatever other currency that's fluctuating. Right. That's the problem, and the problem lies in the fiat. The fiat is the one that can't hold value. It's the one that's constantly being up and down. And Bitcoin will be Bitcoin. Gold is gold.
That's a really good point.
If the whole thing worked just on gold. It's just gold. Hey, this cost 3 ounces of gold, right? And tomorrow it'll be 3 ounces again. There won't be a 2.5 ounces tomorrow.
And that's a really good point. I like that you said that. The problem getting us there is everybody in their mindset is the dollar. Okay. How do you get someone to effectively just trade? Like, it would have to be forced upon people. And you know why it's not going to be forced upon people? Is because it's decentralized. They don't want it to be forced upon people. Only way they would force this upon people is if it genuinely was created by the CIA. This was this huge. And then if that happened and that came out, people are going to flood out of it anyway. They're going to say, wait a minute, I was a part of this just huge, big scheme, experiment. Basically, I think people would try to get out with whatever value they could and move on.
There's just too much already created, right? Too much Fugazi, all kinds of derivatives, Swift system. Like, there's all this red tape and infrastructure already created into what the world of money is today. To you wipe all of that out and say, well, now we're just going to use Bitcoin. Nothing else matters, just Bitcoin. Yeah. Too much resistance, right? There's too many people, too many companies, too many things that exist. They're going to say, wait a minute. I make my life from this. That's not going to happen, right? And unless you can delete all of those resistances out of the way, which isn't the reality, unless something drastic occurs, maybe the New World Order. Maybe that's their ultimate goal, is to just do that. Maybe they actually are heroes, right? And we just don't know it. But they got to be heroes by force, right? Like, we're gonna do this for your own goodwill. You just don't know it, and we're just gonna make it happen, right? And it looks terrible on the way, but then when you get to the final result, you're like, okay, the means justified the ends.
And then the question becomes, how do you go from whatever wealth that you have accrued right now and make that conversion into Satoshis? Would basically all of the dollars, all of the euros, all of the pounds, like all of the different currencies would effectively have to go into one big pot and then disperse via calculation? For anybody to be able to even understand it, they're going to have to basically say, okay, there's this many Satoshis in the world, there's this many effectively dollars in the world, and then everything.
Well, they're gonna have to go buy it, right?
You know what I mean?
There is no distribution, right? It's just, hey, this currency is dead, it's gone, it's fugazi, it doesn't work anymore. This is our new currency. I hope you got some. If you don't, that wealth that you had in that other currency is gone. But look, read the Bitcoin standard. It explains exactly that scenario, right? There are early adopters and there are people that are not. And the people that don't adopt the new upcoming currency when the other currency is dying lose their wealth. And it's the opportunity for life-changing money, because with small amounts, you can accumulate a larger portion of this new currency, which is going to be worth a lot more. But that's just the game, right? That's the market.
But that's why
some people lose.
That's why you own assets and not liabilities, right? Because the assets are going to be able to be exchanged for Satoshis at that point. It's not like someone that ultimately,
right? You have houses
is going to just go from nothing to nothing because they switched over.
Well, your currency, right? Your currency is going to be.
You're saying your mattress money or your whatever
your bank account, right? Your bank account is going to mean nothing, right? But if you have real estate, you have land, you have stocks, whatever, that's going to be like, okay, this stock is now worth X amount of Satoshis. Here you go.
I mean, I'm here for it only from a standpoint that I hate the fact that we live in a fictional world of money. And for those of you,
there's a scenario that can happen. Elon puts us on Mars, and now by colonizing Mars and being Mars, a whole new planet, we can create a whole new infrastructure of money from ground zero. That's the only way.
Can we get outside of the firmament on this flat Earth?
Of course we do. You just swim out of it.
You swim out of the firmament, which is our dome over flat Earth right now.
But the dome is an ocean, right? It's all water in space. Space is just water, right? You just got to pierce it, and that's where the flood came from, right? It's just the dome opened, and the water came in,
opened up, and all the water came in.
Just the same way submarines work underwater. You just got to send the submarine into out there.
Okay, well, that's an interesting thought. For those of you curious, I'm not actually a flat earther, but I do want to say, as an aside, there's some very interesting points that get made about the flat Earth theory. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different stream. I'm just gonna say there's some really interesting points that come out of that. But yeah, no, I would love to see a fair and equitable way for our monetary system to function, and with you giving a private entity / government. I mean, I know the Fed's technically private, but let's be fair. They work for the government, right? They are a part of the government, and these elites own and have the ability to turn on and off a money printer, raise interest rates, lower interest rates, allow the banks and all of their people to be able to loan you at an interest, loan you fictional money that they've turned on a printer whenever they wanted to then gain a yield off of your interest. It is absolutely chaotic at best, and it's a freaking scam. And then we all work our butts off for years and years and years and years and years for something that ultimately comes in and out and flows faster and slower, and interest rates go up and down, that they legitimately are just printing. There's nothing there. So I'd love to see an equitable situation where we could get something like proof of work that then creates the Bitcoin that then gets distributed to the people, however you ended up buying or acquiring your Bitcoin. And we could see a totally different way of life for sure on that. So Alan said we couldn't scale society вithout money. And I agree with you partially.
No, don't agree.
I agree with you partially, but
Think about this.
But money, hold on one second. But money ultimately is just a fictional idea to show what effectively you have. If you let's look DCA style, right? Danger Close Alpha. I see value in a war with this vest, right? If I'm in a war, I need this vest. This has value to me. I'm going to a concert. I'm going to a bonfire. I want to have fun with my friends, which we're going to do May 12th through the 14th with your bug out bags. If you haven't got one, you better get it. DCA, baby, let's go, with the guitar. So ultimately, you might not call it money, but we could absolutely survive off of the value that someone brings to the table. If you are a builder, you build a home and you are able to exchange something you are able to exchange for that home, boom, it works. So I do think that on a very large scale, you could barter. The problem with bartering, though, is, and here it is, Miguel. Listen, what do? You start bartering and you are the man, and you are absolutely just, what do you do with all of the stuff? So you have to have some sort of a way. And I agree with him, right? How do you scale that? All of a sudden, I own, you know what I mean? Think about how much people own right now as it is with money. Now take the money away, toss it all into assets. And what are we doing?
Money is a concept created to make you believe that you are free, that you're not a slave,
okay,
right? They are paying you for your time with paper. Okay. Right? All your hard work, all your whatever, they're incentivizing you to do what they want you to do, right?
Okay.
But and then in return, they're going to give you this paper that you can then go spend in your luxurious time, right? Yeah. Great empires were created way before paper money existed, and there was all types of slave labor, right? The only difference now is you can't use those words anymore, and you can't use those tactics. So the tactic just changes. You're not a slave. But if you don't work and do what we want you to do, you won't make money. And if you don't make money, you don't have house. You don't have house. And for money, you don't have food. You don't have food. You don't have nothing, right? You can't live without money. So is it any different from the slavery system, right? In concept, right? I understand nobody's getting whipped on a whipping post, right? All right, now. But essentially, it's the same thing. When you were a slave before, you were provided things for your labor. You just had to do what they told you. Now you got to do what they told you. If not, you can't survive, and the only thing you can escape with is this paper. So, yeah.
And what happens when you want a home? What happens when you want a home to live in? Okay, your skills or your skill sets are not in building, right? So let's say I can't build a home. I have no idea what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to do it, and I need a number of people to do it. And my skill set is content creation, right? Because the internet's not going anywhere. How am I going to get a bunch of people to build my home for me in exchange for me creating content for them with no money in between?
So what's your question? How do you get people to do stuff for you?
Yeah. Because think about it.
You're gonna have to get something from this content creation. You have to get something. It might not be money, but you're getting something, right? If not, you wouldn't be doing it. So whatever that something is needs to be valuable enough that you can persuade enough people to come work for you, right? The whole thing is the money allows you, it gives you the option that you can be a smaller slave owner.
No, see, I don't think so. I think
of course it is.
No. I agree with you, but what I'm saying is I think it gives you a way to stack your wealth without being a hoarder and acquiring assets. Because at some point, if you are just filthy rich in a world that has no money, where do you put everything? Because the only other thing you have is getting favors. People owe you favors left, right, and sideways. You got to have something to exchange that.
I understand. The medium of exchange gets complicated, right? You get 40 people to work for you, and then you're like, well, this guy wants a house, this guy wants a new pair of tires, this other guy wants a new pair of shoes, right? Can you provide those things? Absolutely, you can. Is it going to be a pain in the butt? Probably, right?
Yeah.
You got to go running around versus everybody gets the same thing. You get a piece of paper, you get a piece of paper, you get a piece of paper. What you do with that paper is your problem.
Then we get into socialism for sure. Crypto fam, thank you very much for all the support. We love you guys. We hope you guys are having fun. I know this stream's gone a little longer than normal. We're going to end it off with this. Okay. We've had some fun tonight. What if? I think we can end it off on a fun note here. What if scam Bankman-Fried does not go to jail? Side note, I want to throw out there. You guys have probably all seen on Twitter that something may or may not be happening down in the Bahamas. I got to tell you, if that ends up happening, at least one of the two men you're staring at right now is going to be down there for sure. So
it's partying it up.
It's gonna be
with Sam Bankman-Fried.
That's right. Gonna go dance with Sam and his 9 concubines or whatever. However many.
I wouldn't be surprised. He'd be like, "Hey guys, just come on in. Everybody's just like."
But yeah, it looks like for those of you that don't know, there's a very good chance that the Bit Squad, a number of influencers, and then a number of people that were affected negatively by the scam Bankman-Fried himself are going down to the Bahamas to protest. And so when that happens, assuming that he doesn't get arrested, when that happens, I will be there and trying to make sure that Crusader can be there as well, because we want to be there as the dynamic duo that we are of DCA. Okay, so what happens if he doesn't?
Shots.
What happens if he doesn't?
What we're doing down there?
No, I don't. Well, I mean, it probably will end up being a part of what happens down there. I mean, everybody gets together.
Everybody wakes up the next day. That protest. Yeah, we can do that later. I don't know if
let me get back to sleep. What are your thoughts? So, Mr. Fried, Mr. Scam Bankman. Let's say first of all, do you think that he's going to face time?
He should, right? The concept is he should. Will he? Maybe not, right? He doesn't have to come back to the United States. He can figure out a way, right? Fugazi himself in a submarine and appear in Dubai somehow, right? He can do whatever he wants. He's got money. He's got connections. His parents got money. His parents got connections. So they can make anything happen. You can make anything happen with money and connections. Should he? Yes. Will he? Maybe not. There's a good possibility that he doesn't. That he just does not.
I agree with you. I believe my thought process is the connections that he has, the money that he donated are to the corrupt individuals that pushed a whole lot of craziness on the entire world. We'll just use America as an example. They pushed things onto you, made you have to do things to keep your jobs and to continue going to work and blah. That ended up being it was absolutely fraudulent. And now that we have the information that we had been telling you, by the way, for years, that's not the point. That information then comes out, and all of a sudden, okay, so that's those same people he had been donating to, right? Donating a lot of money to. So he was greasing the right wheels, right? He was hitting the right palms. He was doing his thing. So I could see him not.
Dude, the Pentagon has lost 2.2 billion or whatever dollars or $1 trillion, whatever it was. I forgot what the number was.
What, before 9/11?
Just recently. It was like a few days ago.
Oh yeah. They didn't know where like $80 billion went from.
Just gone, that. Right? Same thing happened in 9/11. What they do? They blew up a few buildings and everybody forgot, right? Like they get away with this all the time. Like I think the Pentagon has failed its 5th audit in a row. Like it fails audits all the time, right? And where's the money go? Black book projects, all kinds of fugazi that nobody needs to know about, and nobody even blinks an eye. So this guy losing a few $1 billion, right? He went from being a crypto genius, kind of wizard, right? He
saving
everything
about
everything, to now just showing up on any right. And there's a good question here by Kenton, like, do you wonder him showing up is part of the plan? Of course, right? Now he shows up, he's just a babbling idiot. Oh, I didn't know. Sorry, I was playing the Wii and I wasn't paying attention to the monitors and money was being sent. I just didn't know. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. Wait a minute. You were just being praised as some type of mathematical genius and, all this stuff that you were doing that was so great. And then now it all happened to be that it was just happening and you were just Fugazi, you actually didn't know half of the time where you were. Like now he shows up and he looks like he's Biden. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you know what I mean.
So he shows up, he falls off his bike, he can't put a sentence together.
Yeah,
like
okay, cool. So yeah, him showing up. Yeah, him showing up everywhere is part of a plan, right? It's part of that plan of just making the narrative. I didn't know he was a victim, whatever, and get past it. And people just like, oh yeah, he really didn't know. Yeah, like yeah. And people have short-term memories. People forget. People don't care enough to do anything about it. And nothing will happen. What happened? Let's say the government tomorrow shows up and says, yeah, we don't care that Sam Bankman-Fried stole your money. We don't care. Good luck. Right. Great for him. Sucks for you. What will anyone do? Nothing. People will bitch. People will complain. Go back to their 9 to 5. Keep working like a slave and go pay their bills. That's all they're gonna do. That's all that's gonna happen.
Yeah. If he doesn't face accountability, I think the one thing that I do believe we're going to see, though, and it's going to impact things negatively, is the hammer. And we already think we're going to feel this anyway, but the hammer that's going to be put down on the crypto space as it relates to regulation. And something like this points to the regulators doing a good, quote unquote, good thing for the space, right? When in reality, there was a game plan around, now whether it was very specifically around, hey, we're going to commingle funds between two companies, make sure your girlfriend runs it, let's make it look as shady as possible, then come out and babble like an idiot, like you don't know anything, even though you're supposed to be like this genius, blase blah. Whatever. I don't know how much of a game plan it is, but what I will say is under the circumstances, it looks really good for regulators because it says one thing, that we can't regulate ourselves, that we can't do things correctly, that people can't be trusted when it comes to cryptocurrency. And that has been part of the narrative. Well, I get it. And but it's also been part of the narrative the whole time. And part of the idea behind Bitcoin is this censorship resistant, decentralizalized ability to transfer, wealth.
Well, we've done the opposite.
We have
take the traditional old system, create it into the crypto space, and be like, we can make tons of money. We can have centralized exchanges. We can have all this stuff going on. It's great over here, guys. You're doing the same crap just without rules, so they can get away with even more stuff, right? And we're not moving towards the decentralization that we actually need, right? The code, the laws that the code puts in place that don't allow things to happen. So we're moving away from that, moving towards centralization. And what do we get? We got Fugazi, guys. That is the result. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I unfortunately agree. I could see a scenario. We're talking about what if he doesn't. So if he doesn't, unfortunately, nothing's going to happen. Time is going to happen. He's going to be in the news, less in the news. Fades off into the distance. And that'll be that. And he will be vilified for a long time. And he will be the reminder. He'll be the poster child for watch out. Anybody can get scammed in crypto. Starring Sam Bankman-Fried.
What happened with Mt. Gox, right? All those years ago. Who were the creators of Mt. Gox? I'm pretty sure one of the creators of Mt. Gox has been pretty involved in other crypto stuff. And people just...
That's a fact. Mind your biz. What up, brother?
People just kind of forgot about that, right? People just like, this guy was part of one of the biggest scams ever. And they, they Kevin O'Leary themselves. They said, I will invest one more time on anything he works on.
Yeah, and I think that we will have another news story to then move on to. And that's unfortunately where our news media is right now. They decide which things they want you focusing on for a certain amount of time. And then when they want that to change, boom, you have the Amber Heard trial, right? When they don't want you looking at Ghislaine Maxwell, they have the Amber Heard trial. When they don't want you looking at Sam Bankman-Fried anymore, we'll have something else to look at. When they don't want you looking at, they'll have something else for you to look at. And that will be the unfortunate thing. Now, if he does face any sort of trouble, at most he will do some white collar time, some tennis court. He'll be in PC protective custody. he will be well, taken care of. They're not going to throw him out on, San Quentin or something. Like they're not going to
be eating lobster for dinner. Don't worry.
Who
course
knows?
Meals.
Who knows? It definitely, he would not be doing any sort of hard time. So
yeah, he'll get sentenced to like 10 years. He'll do like 6 months, and then they'll give him parole, and then he'll be gone. And then people forget.
Mind Your Biz will be back on the show, Kenton. He always has an open invitation, and he will. We actually should have reached out to him tonight to have this discussion. So, Seth, thank you for jumping in, brother. Well, Crypto Fam, we appreciate you. Make sure to smash the likes before you go. Make sure you are involved in Danger Close Alpha. Again, the commodities. Fill up your bug out bags. Get your commodities. Let's give somebody 5 ETH. I'm telling you, this game is going to be fun. We've got different content creators involved. There are clues scattered throughout. There's no way for us to start the game. We have clues scattered throughout the NFTs, and we don't have any way to give you those because they're in the NFTs. So definitely please get involved in that. Follow us on Twitter, all the socials, get in the Discord. Discord's free. Shoot, follow Mind Your Biz while he's in here. He's a good dude and puts out great content as well. Why not? We love you guys. We appreciate you all for being here. Just remember, question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like it's hot.
We'll see you soon.